Hello, doctors. Welcome, doctors and staff. Welcome to today's spinal hygiene class. And today's going to be a very focused topic, which is how do we get into schools to start teaching our kids about spinal hygiene? And I know this has been a big one. This is a big motivator for some of you. Others not so much, because it's not just a huge new patient draw, but what it is it allows you to give to your community, allows you to be that authority, allows you to help the next generation and really feel good about yourself because you're giving back. And I think it's just absolutely necessary if we want chiropractic to grow in a good light. And it's about getting in front of those kids early so that they grow up seeing chiropractic in that good light. And just like dentistry did, and I won't go into the whole history because I know you guys heard this from me before, but it's like, man, tooth decay was terrible. Nobody took care of their teeth. And then dentists got into our schools, they got into our communities, and they taught dental hygiene, and it made a huge difference in our society, and in people's lives. In you and I's life, we have healthy teeth, a good healthy smile today, because probably in large part because dentists did what they did to get into schools and to get out in the community. And that's why we work so hard to do that in our offices. And I know you do as well. So I'm going to jump right into it because I know some of you just want, just the step-by-step how-to of how to actually get into schools. And we do that by two ways, okay? There's two ways that I've ever used to get into schools, and I'm going to go through them specifically. Now, the first, well, let me just say it both ways. Number one is through your patients who are teachers or principals or work in the schools, coaches, whatever it is. The first way that you could get your foot in the door is actually through the teacher. The teacher can invite you to be a guest speaker in their class. And if you already have patients who are teachers and you haven't brought this up, you haven't showed them or told them what you want to do, then now's the time to do that. And you can get in the door and get into those classes very easily through the teacher, okay? The second thing to do is to have a meeting with the principal. And we're going to go through that in this process as well. Now, let me show you a whiteboard, because what we did was actually put, we have a big whiteboard that we put announcements on, or I put like a daily education on in our office. And let me show you one of the whiteboards that we would do. Maybe. Yeah, so I'll share my screen here. What I would recommend is on your whiteboard is you just say attention teachers. And then here, let me share this screen here. So this is our whiteboard. Now the up at the top where it says things you should know, that always stays there, because sometimes I'll put how many vertebrae are in the human spine, and then I'll have people guess and all that stuff. When they come back to the table, I'll tell them 24 movable segments, or how fast does a nerve impulse go? And then when they get back to the table, they're like guessing, and I'm like 268 miles per hour, unless there's an interference or pressure on it. So let's make sure there's no interference. So it's a great way to move into your tick, into your table talk, if you have a whiteboard. Well, one of those days on your whiteboard where everybody sees, say attention teachers. Help us share spinal hygiene information with your students. Book Dr. Tabor as a guest speaker today, right? So all the teachers that come in will see that, and make it like a big push, for the week or for the month that you're really trying to book these talks or these workshops in classrooms. And then you can talk specifics when the teacher actually gets back there and says, hey, you want to come talk to my kids? And then you can be like, well, what grade are they in? Are they elementary? Yeah, let's do something fun. Let me go through the spine. I'll bring my model. We'll talk about each area of the body. We'll do like we'll talk more next week on how to do the actual workshop. But I always have a little game where you have them line up, you have them pass a basketball down, and then you move them out of alignment, and you try to have them pass the basketball down. And it's like you can see how much slower the nerve impulse goes when there's pressure on it, right? And then we put them back into a good alignment, have them pass the basketball, and we're like, see how easy it is? That's why we need to make sure our spine's in a good alignment, right? But then for, let's say it was junior high, let's say it was high school, you have the PowerPoints that are inside this presentation. I'm going to go ahead and close out my, stop the camera there. So you have the whole PowerPoint that's inside the members area, the curriculum, and that PowerPoint, everything you need to know about anatomy, about the spine, about chiropractic. I mean, it's really, really cool PowerPoint. So if they're a higher up grade or class, then you just prepare that way. And so that's the easiest way, really. You don't have to go out in the community. You don't have to get into the schools. You don't have to sit down and schedule a time with the principal. Is you just start talking to your teachers that are already in your already in your office, because they're the ones that can have you come in and talk to their class and their kids. All right, so that's the first way to schedule it. Now what I'll do is I'll have I'm gonna have some flyers printed up, and I'll give you guys the PDF of the flyers, and you can actually, I'll send you the email that we use too. We send an email blast out to our patients saying, if you're a teacher or you know a teacher, we'd like to get in and teach kids about spinal hygiene. Then also the flyers, hang up flyers around your office, say we're trying to get in. If you're a teacher, attention teachers, we want to get in and do spinal hygiene classes. So really just, you're just getting in by doing the teachers. So let's talk about actually scheduling time with the principals, because sometimes that's a little bit harder. So you're not going to call the schools and try to schedule a time for the principal. You might be able to get in that way, but I found it's better if you actually go to the school and then go in and ask the secretary if you can schedule a 10-minute consultation with the principal. Okay, so it's just 10 minutes. Now, a lot of times that secretary will ask you what it's about. Now, sometimes they won't. If they don't, just don't mention it. I mean, that's fine. But if they're going to say, great, what's it about? What's it pertaining to? You're going to tell them that you have an exciting new program, all right, that you're going to be teaching and educating students about how to take care of their spine and nervous system. And you'd really like to get that in the school here and other schools around this area as well. And you just want to take 10 minutes. It won't take very long, just to show the principal your program and the education for students. Okay, great. So she'll write it down, or she'll make you an appointment. What I would recommend, though, is that before you go to the school, okay, do your research and know that principal's name. All right, the worst thing that you could do is you go up to the secretary. For one, you don't say, I want to schedule a 10-minute talk with Principal Jones, or Mr. Jones, or whatever, the principal. But then also, what if that secretary says, oh, well, he's available right now, right? So have the stuff with you, know what you're going to say, know the principal's name, do your research before you go in to schedule this 10-minute talk, because you might get right in to do this 10-minute talk, okay? Or this 10-minute pitch for your deal. So you go ahead, you schedule that 10-minute appointment, or if they're ready, just go on in. Now, write this down, because this is a list of things you want to have with you when you go set up this appointment, but you also definitely want to have it with you for your appointment, okay? You want to have a short bio that you can give them. I wouldn't say just, a short, very short paragraph, a bio about you, the doctor. You want to have a list of the information that you're going to be covering in the class. Like we cover the anatomy of the spine, the cervical spine, 7 vertebrae, the thoracic spine, 12 vertebrae, the lumbar spine, 5 vertebrae, a quick overview of what the nervous system is, brain, spinal cord, nerves, quick overview of why it's so important to take care of it, and then a quick overview of how do we take care of it, and show them, like, we're going to do a range of motion exercise in the class, right? You want to have your business cards with you when you go. You could also put this packet together for teachers. That would be really cool. So when a teacher comes back to your table and you're adjusting them and they say, well, I'd be interested in having you talk to my kids, have this packet ready and give it to them, because they might have to actually go get permission from their principal also to have you talk to them. So if they have a packet like this, then it's a good thing to have. Now, you also, of course, want to have your calendar and be able to schedule the event while you're there. The best thing you could do is if you're sitting down with this principal, don't say, "Oh, well, I'll have my front desk contact you with my availability," or we'll get back to each other whenever we know a time will work out. No, you really want to schedule that while you're in front of that principal. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Okay, good. So you got a short bio, a list of like the outline of your event and all the information that you're going to be giving to the kids, your business cards, and you're ready to schedule the event. You have your calendar in front of you. Now, just a heads up, this has happened before when we've went to principals. Sometimes you can't meet directly with the principal, so they set you up an appointment with the assistant principal, and that's perfectly fine. Definitely take that. I found a lot of times that assistant principals have just as much authority to let you come in to the school as the principal does. Okay, so sometimes you never even have to go to the principal. If the secretary says, "I can't get you in to see the principal, but you can have an appointment with the assistant principal," perfect, take it. I wrote down some notes here. That's what I'm looking at. So. Awesome. So yeah, so when you do get that appointment, you just walk into the principal, you introduce yourself, you tell them thank you for taking the time, you really respect their time, it won't take you very long, but you have a new program where you're getting into schools in the area to teach kids about how to take care of their spine. Maybe give them a little bit of history. Tell them right now we're seeing more spinal degeneration than ever before. People are having back surgeries at younger and younger ages. And so we're trying to get into the students and get into the young people of our society, show them how to take care of their spine and nervous system so that they don't have those major health problems. And I would also say it's kind of like dentistry did back about several decades ago when they got into schools and they started teaching kids to take care of their teeth. We just want to show them little simple exercises they can do on a daily basis to take care of their spine, right? Tell them, there's absolutely no catch whatsoever. There's, no cells. You don't really give them anything. You could give them the handouts, of course, whenever you're doing your presentation, especially if they're the older kids. But we don't sell anything. It's just fully about giving back to the community, helping those kids live a better, healthier life. Now, here's the thing. Tell the principal you've done it at other schools with great success, unless you have not done it at other schools yet. Okay, so if you have done things like this or presentations to the kids at other schools, definitely capitalize on that. Hopefully you've got maybe even some testimonials from some of the principals of other schools, and you can show that to them, and that's awesome. And tell them, you've done it at other schools, it's been hugely successful. If you haven't, let's say this is your first principal that you sat down and talked to, then here's what you want to say. Don't tell them you've been to other schools when you haven't. They will call up the other schools and they'll find out. Don't ever lie, okay? Tell them you have a number of schools on your list and you're going to go talk to and present this to, but you wanted to make sure that this school was the first, that you came to them first and set this up with, and gave them first option to set this up, something like that, okay? So you would say, well, Principal Jones, or I guess you don't call him that, maybe call him Mr. Jones. You would say, I have a long list of schools I'm actually going to go to meet with the principals and set this appointment up as well. But I wanted to make sure I got you first and get you scheduled and on the books so that we can come in. And maybe, you're right next to my office. We definitely want to make sure we're working with you guys and the kids directly around our office, right? So say something like that. All right, and then that's it. And then so you'll hopefully maybe even get the appointment or get the lecture talk scheduled there. Or if they say they'll get back to you, because sometimes they do have to think about it. And we're not trying to sell anything here, so it's not like we have to have a hard sell. We could say, yeah, great, think about it, let me know. What I would do is I would follow up with a phone call or an email in about 48 hours. So give them a couple days to think about it and then follow up. And then here's something cool that Chris Burfield, when he was doing the teacher appreciation program, he would try to set up like chair massages for teachers, right? And he used a lot of these things, and we did those too. This is how we got into schools to do chair massages when we were doing that. And so if they didn't get back to us within a couple of days, what we would do is we would bring them some breakfast, you know, and you might just bring them a big box of donuts. I know it's not healthy, but you know, say it's a cheat day, right, or something like that. Say maybe bring it in on a Friday and say it's Friday cheat day. Here's all these donuts. Or if you don't want to do that because you want to be congruent and healthy, I totally understand. Then find something better, like muffins. You know, maybe English muffin, or maybe fruit, or like a fruit dish or bowl, or you know, whatever it is you eat for breakfast. Like bring them a tray, and then say, you know, just following up with you. Have you guys decided on anything yet? You know, just kind of checking in, and do that maybe a week or two after you've talked to them. Just keep following up with them. Now, another cool thing that I want to go ahead and tell you up front to do is once that you schedule your first lecture, you're going to realize that there are like dozens and dozens of classes and classrooms and hundreds, if not thousands, of kids, depending on where your community is. I know in my community, it would probably be thousands of kids, and here in Houston, Texas. So you can't go one day and talk to all the classes. So you have to set up that appointment and then ask them if you can set up a regular monthly appointment to come in and talk to a different class each month and start doing those classes each month. That's a piece of cake. Once you're in the door and once you do a good job and the teachers, you know, say that you're awesome, then talk to the principal and ask them if you can do that regularly on a monthly basis. Come in and talk to the kids, have fun, give them a good education, and let them have some fun in doing your workshops, okay? So those are the two ways to get into schools and to start sharing with your kids. Number one, through your teachers, okay? Make a packet. We talked about what to put in the packet here. Short bio, list, outline what you're going to be talking about and teaching in your classes. You might have one outline for elementary, one outline for junior high and higher. And then put business cards in the folder, a calendar or event calendar. Maybe just have a calendar and say, circle what day works best for you, type of a thing, and with a phone number to schedule the actual class. And then that's it. That's all you need, man. And you can start doing those classes and getting into the schools. And I know I've been saying this for a couple months that we're going to start focusing more on this, but we really are. All right, we're gonna develop Atlas. We're gonna start teaching our kids about spinal hygiene next week. I'm gonna train on the actual workshop. I'll show you what we do for the elementary workshop. It's real easy, laid back, so much fun. I'll show you what we do for the junior high and high school curriculum and the workshops and the PowerPoints. We're tweaking and changing the PowerPoints. You can do that as well. Tweak and change the PowerPoint to make it fit you and your practice and your message. But we just really want to start educating the next generation, and they're going to grow up with a great sense of value for chiropractic and also an understanding of spinal hygiene. And I think spinal hygiene needs to be daily exercises and then upkeep and regular chiropractic adjustments. But spinal hygiene is so important for the future of our country, for the future of our young people. All right. So I hope you got a lot out of the trainings today. It was fast, but it covered specifically how to get into businesses. And if you have any questions or if I left anything out, don't hesitate to email me, drtabor@live.com, drtabor@live.com, or message me on Facebook or reply to any of my emails. And I'm always here to help, and I appreciate your time. All right. Well, y'all have a great week, and we will talk to you next week. We'll go over the actual workshops of in-school curriculum next week. Bye.